Hey, BoLS fans, AdamHarry here. We're going to be taking a look at the brand new Star Wars X-Wing Galactic Empire conversion kit today. I'm pretty pumped about this one. This is everything all of the Empire players need to convert their current collection into 2.0 compatible. It's got all your dials, all the cards, seriously all the cards. It's going to have all of the cardboard you need for your bases, for the ships, and it's got some other good stuff. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Alright, just got the plastic wrap off. We're going to be going right in here. Alright. That's everything in the box. Got this little cardboard thing. Alright, we've got the new medium-sized bases. There should be 4 of these in here. We've got pegs for your dials. We've got 4 different packs of cards. Ugh, a lot of cards. We've got some extra things that probably weren't listed in a separate bag. Then we've got all of the cardboard punch-outs. And, of course, a really quick list. And just to show you what all's in here, there's the component list. As you can see, it is a ton of stuff. And there's more. So there you go. Even more stuff. A full component list of what's in here. All the different text there, credits. There's some new components. We're going to be looking at the reinforced token, calculate token, jam, tractor token, listening device condition token, and hunted condition token. And then we've got the single turret arc indicator and the double turret arc indicator. And then there's new rules for some of the different old favorites, like bomblets and proton bombs and seismic charges. So there you go. All right, let's take a look at those bases real quick. Okay, so you get 4 of the new medium-sized bases in the pack. You can see those 4 there. These 2 I brought just to show you as a size comparison. These are exactly 1.5 times the size of the small, and smaller. This one's, again, the large base is 2 of the little bases. I don't know if you knew that, but there you have it. And the medium base is kind of this whole Russian nesting doll thing now. So make little ziggurats with your bases. In the other little bag, it contains some additional components for the TIE LN Fighter and the TIE Advanced. That is the TIE Advanced, by the way, X1. These components weren't reflected in the list from the conversion kit, so that's why they're in this little extra bag, and you get this little extra card to explain. Again, there's 4 small ship tokens, you can see for the base, and then the 4 ship cards. We've got Del Meeko, Gideon Hask, Sayin Marana, and Ved Fulso. I don't know who makes up these names. Probably some guy when you enlist. Anyway, these are just the 3 new TIE LNs with they're all pilot or initiative 4, and then Ved Fulso again for the TIE Advanced X1. And you can kind of see the new layout of the cards for 2nd edition. You've got all your actions on the right. You've got your stats now on the bottom of the ship. Each one of these pilots is a unique pilot, so you're only going to get 1 copy of them, and you can tell that from the unique dot there by the name. These are ties, so these 3 ties, being TIE LNs, have a forward firing arc, 90-degree arc, with the 2 eye primary, 3 agility, 3 shields, or 3 hull, no shields, because they're ties. Action bar-wise, you're looking at a focus, evade, and a barrel roll for each one of these guys. And then, of course, the TIE Advanced does have shields. So, again, 2 eye primary attack in the forward 90-degree arc, 3 agility, 3 hull, 2 shields. It also comes with the advanced targeted computer as a ship action, not part of the pilot action. It's actually part of the ship. While you perform a primary attack against a defender, you have locked, roll 1 additional attack die, and change 1 hit to a crit result. That's a slight change from the old targeted computer, but it's still pretty good. Action-wise, this has a linked action of focus, which you can link into a red barrel roll, so you get a stress when you do the red barrel roll. It also has lock, no longer called target lock, because you can lock other stuff besides just ships. And you also have a barrel roll action that is white, so if you don't want to do the focus into a barrel roll, you can just do a straight up barrel roll. Also, just a quick side note, we have the 4 ship token cards for the base. Those have a lot of new lines on there, so if you haven't seen these yet, I'm going to take a moment to break these down. You can see the new firing arcs actually have the bullseye firing arc labeled. You've got lines on the sides and in the middle to show off, again, ship quarters. So you can see, like, there's the front left, front right, rear left, rear right, and there's actually a firing arc also drawn on the back, so you can see if you're in the rear arc or not. So just some extra stuff. And then if we flip these over real fast, you can see they are the same pilots. They are not like TIE Academy pilots on the back of that. Next, we're going to look at all of the cardboard punch-outs that are included here. You're going to have a whole bunch of tokens here for ships, for new tokens like some of the focus tokens and things like that, all the end-of-turn, end-of-round tokens and all that fun stuff. But the big thing here, of course, is all the big ships. Whole lot of ships here. We're not going to go through each one of these, but there's one sheet there, and you can make out all of the different types of ships. A lot of TIE fighters. There's a decimator. There's the shuttle, the Imperial shuttle as well. Flipping this one over. Cutlass Squadron pilot. That's actually a medium base ship. You can see. Let me punch that out real quick. Yeah. The medium base. Cool. Moving on from there, we've got a whole crap load of little ships. Everything from the Storm Squadron Aces all the way down to the Gamma Squadron Aces. Duchess is back. Whisper's back. Man, Turfiner! One of my favorite pilots there as well. And all of their ships and all that fun stuff. Flipping that over, you can see there's some different, more of the generic ships. So all of those. Dials for days. And more tokens. So he's also got the Black Squadron Scout here. All of the different dial fronts. A couple of the dual arc ones here. Single arc for turrets. This is the new option for robots, pilots. Calculate. That tokens and end-around tokens. It's like focus for robots. For that. Condition tokens there. Stress. All that fun stuff. There's a force charge token as well. Alright, moving along. More dials. By the way, all of these dials are labeled so you know which numbers go with which dial. And the indicators are now on the top instead of on the bottom. So keep that in mind when you're playing, because that will throw you off, because it got me at least once. Here are the dials with the actual numbers on them. Again, we're not going to go through all the dials because you can see that they're labeled. Extra tokens here and focus tokens and things like that. And again, on the back they are labeled. You just match the label here with the label here and you're good to go. Alright, last but not least, guess what? Even more dials and punch outs. You're going to get a bunch more force charge tokens, activation charge tokens, or stuff like that, some jam stuff, disarm or don't fire. These are for the plastic hard dials if you wanted to use those. And again, more maneuver dials. And they're ready to get punched out. Look at that, one's already flying out there. There are tons of iconic ships in Star Wars. However, the TIE LN fighter, just your regular TIE fighter, has got to be one of the most iconic ships of all time. Everybody knows the silhouette. It is a TIE fighter. It's your classic ship. I don't know what else to say about it. So we're going to start with that one. You can see all the pilots that are included in the conversion pack here. Starting on the far right in the top, we've got Mauler Mithril. We've got Howl Runner. We've got Scourge Skiktu. We've got Gideon Hask. We've got Del Miko, which we showed off earlier, the fours. Seth Mariana. And then we get into some of the generic pilots here real quick. We've got 4 Black Squadron Aces you'll get in this pack. You'll get 4 Obsidian Squadron pilots and 4 Academy pilots. And then finally, Wampa. Good old Black 11. These ships, again, stat-wise, we've kind of already gone over them. And action bar-wise, they're pretty much all identical. So again, focus, evade, and a barrel roll for their actions stat-wise. 2 dice primary attack in the front 90, 3 agility, and 3 hull. No shields because you're in a TIE. Sorry. The unique pilots, of course, you're only going to get 1 copy of each of the unique pilots. Again, the 4s we've actually already gone over. So keep that in mind. The unique pilots also will come with their own special abilities. The generics don't, so they're just your generics. Now, because we showed off Ved Fulso already, I figured we might as well keep going and show off the other TIE Advanced X1s next. Of course, we've got Darth Vader. He's in this upgrade pack. More on him in a bit. Merrick Steele's back. We already showed off Ved Fulso. Again, one of each one of those because they're unique. Same with Zertic Strom. He is also unique. You only get one of those. You do get 2 Storm Squadron Aces and 2 Tempest Squadron Pilots. The ship itself has an advanced targeting computer, which we've already talked about. And then action bar wise, these guys are all the same. You're going to have the focus into a linked action of a red barrel roll, a lock action, and the barrel roll option. As far as ship stats, they have a 2 attack, 90 art in the front, 2 die primary attack in the front. We're going to get 3 agility, 3 shields, 2 hull, and if you're Darth Vader, you also have 3 force charge that you're going to be able to use during your game. If you look real close on that force charge, it does have the regen property thanks to the little triangle there. So at the end of every turn, you're going to get back 1 force charge. Vader's ability also allows him to spend force charges to get an extra action because he's Vader. So Vader's still getting 2 actions a turn, people. From here on out, we're just going to go through the rest of the ships kind of in random order. So first up, the TIE Interceptor, which was one of my favorite ships as well. It's got some of the best pilots in all of the Empire rocking them as well. So we've got Suntrafel, he's back. Turfiner is also back. I know it's not actually Ferner, but I like saying it that way. Then we have the Saber Squadron Ace. You're going to get 2 of those, and the Alpha Squadron Pilot. You're going to get 2 of those. Of course, the unique pilots are going to have pilot abilities and have the little dot signifying that they are unique. As a ship, the ship also comes with auto thrusters. So after you perform an action, you may perform a red barrel roll or red boost action if you'd like to. Action bar wise, these ships are going to come with a focus, an evade, a barrel roll, and a boost, making it one of the most nimble ships in the game. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with a whole lot of protection for their pilots, but it does have 3 dice for a primary attack. It comes with 3 evade, so it's again very agile and nimble, but only 3 hull and no shields, so getting hit's gonna suck. The TIE Phantom is up next. This is the new classification of TIE PH Phantom. We've got some returning pilots again. We have Whisper returning to the game, Echo. We also have the Sigma Squadron Ace. There's 2 of those cards and 2 generic Amdar test pilots. Included on this ship, it also has the Stygium Array, which after you decloak, you may perform 1 evade action. At the start of the end phase, you may spend 1 evade token to gain 1 cloak token. So if you want to re-enter cloak, you have to have an evade, so keep that in mind. We're going to take a look at the action bar. Each one of these ships obviously is going to have the new cloak ability. Well, new token. It's going to have new look and a token with that. It's going to have focus, evade, barrel, and of course the cloak we just mentioned. It's going to have a 3 attack, 3 die primary, 2 agility, 3 hull, and 2 shields. Echo and Whisper, again, both have unique pilot abilities, and the Sigma Squadron Ace and the Amdar test pilots just have a whole lot of flavor text. Next up, we have the TIE SA Bomber. Classic TIE Bomber. Tomax Bren, rocking that on the far top right there. Captain Jonas. We've got Major Reimer and Deathfire as your 4 unique pilots. In terms of generic pilots, we've got the Gamma Squadron Ace. We get 3 of those. And the Scimitar Squadron Pilot with 3 of those as well. As a ship, action bar wise, it's going to have a focus, a lock action, and you can barrel roll into a lock action as a linked action. And then finally, you've got the red reload action as well. So you can get some extra charges back for all those bombs you want to drop. Stat wise, the ship's going to have a 2 attack primary, 2 die primary, a 2 evade, and 6 shields. Or 6 hull, not shields. This thing doesn't even have shields. What am I saying? Ship ability wise, the Nimble Bomber. If you would drop a device using a straight template, you may use a bank left or right template of the same speed instead. So that's kind of handy. And all those ships have that ability. And of course, the pilots themselves have a unique ability, unique pilot ability. It's time to whip out the Defender, folks. The TIE Defender is out. We've got Rexler, Colonel Vessery, and the Countess. They're all back. And then you get one of each of those cards. You're going to get 2 Onyx Squadron Aces and 2 Delta Squadron Pilots. Each one of the unique pilots is going to have a cool pilot ability. Each ship, though, is also going to come with full throttle. After you fully execute a speed 3 through 5 maneuver, you may perform an evade action on top of that. And speaking of actions, this ship's got a full load of them. We've got a focus action, an evade action, the lock action, a barrel roll, and a boost. The TIE Defender is one of the more nimble ships out there in terms of action economy options. Stat-wise, it's also pretty beefy with a 3-die primary attack to the 490. It's going to have a 3 agility, 3 hull, and 4 shields. So again, pretty hard to take out. We're looking at Redline and Death Rain, which means we must be looking at the TIE Punisher. So again, Redline is back, and so is Death Rain, and you also get 2 Cutlass Squadron pilots, one of each of the uniques. Stat-wise, the ship's pretty awesome. It's got a 2 attack primary, the front 90, 1 agility, 6 hull, 3 shields, making it one of the beefier TIE options out there. Action bar-wise, it's going to have a focus, a lock action, a red barrel roll, and you can boost into a lock action, which is kind of cool, with a white reload action. So it's ready to bring the missiles. The 2 unique guys also come with a unique pilot ability, and the Cutlass Squadron pilot just comes with a whole lot of flavor text as well. Now we're looking at the prototype TIE Advanced V1. This, of course, famously piloted by the Grand Inquisitor, who is on the far right, clocking in at Initiative 5. Then we have Seventh Sister. These are the 2 unique pilots. And then we get 3 Inquisitors in the generic ones, and 3 Barons of the Empire also in generic versions, so you can take multiples of those. Stat-wise, got a whole lot of stuff going on. For the ship itself, it's going to have a 2 attack primary, 3 evade, 2 hull, 2 shields. These 3 options all come with force charges, which is kind of unique. And again, those regen 1 at the end phase. These 2 are going to come with unique abilities, being unique pilots. And action bar wise, we've got a focus, evade, a lock, and then you can have a white barrel roll into a red focus or a white boost into a red focus. Again, those are linked actions. You don't have to do the linked part of those actions, but you have that option. It's the TIE Aggressor. We have Lieutenant Kestrel, Double Edge, and then we have 2 Onyx Squadron Scouts and 2 Sinar Specialists as well. Action bar wise, the ship's going to have a focus action, a lock action, and a linked action of barrel roll into an evade, which is red. Stat wise, it's just going to have a 2-die primary attack to the front, 90 degrees, a 2 agility, 4 hull, and 1 shield. And of course, the 2 named pilots are going to come with their own unique pilot abilities. Here are the cards for the TIE Striker. Duchess, Countdown, and Pierce Sabak have returned. We're also going to get 3 Black Squadron Scouts and 3 Planetary Sentinels. The ship itself has adaptive ailerons, so before you reveal your dial, if you're not stressed, you must execute a white 1 bank to the left, 1 ahead, or 1 bank to the right maneuver. So you got to go fast. On top of that, Pierce Sabak, Countdown, and Duchess each come with a unique ability, being unique pilots. Action bar wise, we're looking at a focus, an evade, or a barrel roll option. And speaking of firepower, it's going to have a 3-die primary attack. It's going to come with 2 evade and 4 hull, and it's a TIE, so no shields. Alpha Class Star Wing reporting in. We've got Major Vinder, Lieutenant Karsabi, the Rose Squadron pilot, and the new Squadron pilot. And of course, you're going to get 2 generics here and 2 of these generics. Major Vinder and the Lieutenant are each going to have unique pilot abilities. These guys are going to have a lot of flavor text. Action bar wise, this ship's going to have some pretty cool stuff. The ship itself is going to come with a focus, target lock, slam, and a reload action. All of those are going to be white actions. Keeping low on the stress there. It's got a 2-die attack primary to the front 90, 2 evade, 4 hull, and 3 shields. The Lambda class shuttle is one of the most famous shuttles in all of Star Wars, so of course that's going to get a refresh as well. You're going to get one of each of these cards. So you've got Captain Kagi, Colonel Jendon, Lieutenant Sai, and one Omicron group pilot. Action bar wise, this ship is going to come with Focus, Reinforce, Coordinate, and Jam are on its action bar. And stat wise, this is a pretty cool thing that this ship has in particular. It's got a 3 attack primary to the front and a 2 die attack to the rear arc, rear 90-degree arc. It's only got 1 agility, but with that 6 hull and 4 shields, it's going to be able to take a hit. Each of the 3 generic unique pilots all has their own unique pilot ability, whereas the Omicron group pilot has flavor text. The VT-49 Decimator is next up, and it's the final ship in the conversion pack. It's going to come with Rear Admiral Shirno and Captain Daikon, and 2 patrol leaders, which are the generic ship options. Action bar wise, it's going to come with a Focus, a Lock, a Reinforce option, Rotate, because it does have the turret, which we'll get to in a second, and Coordinate. We've already seen here the stats for the ships. It's going to come with a 3-die double turret. That's going to have 0 agility, so it's going to be pretty easy to hit. But again, it's got 12 hull and 4 shields, so have fun chewing through that. On top of all that, the captain and the rear admiral both come with unique pilot abilities, whereas the patrol leader does not. There are only 2 ship titles included in the conversion pack. We have the Dauntless for the Decimator, and for the Lambda Shuttle, we have the ST-321. As you can see here, it's listed which ships they can be attached to, and you can see the abilities on them, and that's what the back of the card looks like. But yeah, they can only go to their respective ships. In terms of special ship modifications, the Alpha Class Star Wing is going to have 2 options here, and you're going to get 3 copies of each of these cards: the OS1- Arsenal loadout or the XG-1 Assault configuration. Each one of these offers slightly different play options, but of course you get 3 of those, so feel free to use it. In the conversion pack, you're also going to have 4 different system options. You're going to get 2 copies of each. You're going to get 2 advanced sensors, 2 collision detectors, 2 trajectory simulators, and 2 fire control systems. There are 9 different options in the mod slot. Each one of these is going to have 2 cards. We're starting with the Stealth Device, Static Discharge Vanes, Shield Upgrade, Tactical Scrambler, Munitions Failsafe. We also have the Hull Upgrade, Electronic Baffle, Advanced Slam, and Ablative Plating. This is the first batch of Elite Pilot Talents that are going to be included in the conversion set. You get 3 copies of Ruthless, 3 copies of Crackshot, 3 copies of Intimidation, 3 copies of Predator, which has changed quite a bit, 3 copies of Outmaneuver, and finally 3 copies of Juke. The next batch has 2 copies of Swarm Tactics, 2 copies of Elusive, 2 copies of Saturation Salvo, 2 copies of Debris Gambit, 3 copies of Trick Shot, and 1 copy of Squad Leader, and 1 copy of Lone Wolf. Seems pretty fitting. The final batch of Elite Pilot Talent cards here is going to include 2 copies of Marksmanship, 2 copies of Expert Handling, and 2 copies of Daredevil. This is the first batch of Empire unique crew members that you can add to your ships. So starting from the top here, we've got the Informant, Seven Sister, Admiral Sloan, Agent Callus, Sienna Ree, and of course, Darth Vader. The next batch of crew are also unique. We're going to be starting with the Emperor himself, Palpatine, clocking in at 2 crew slots. There's also Minister Tua, Moff Jerjerrod, which is a stupid name, Grand Moff Tarkin, and Grand Inquisitor. The last batch here of crew are all of the non-unique characters, and you're actually going to get 2 copies of each of these cards. We've got 2 copies of Freelance Slicer, the GNK Gonk Droid, 2 copies of that. You're also going to have 2 copies of Novice Technician, 2 copies of Tactical Officer, 2 copies of Seasoned Navigator, and 2 copies of Perceptive Co-Pilot. The new gunner slot's going to come with a couple different options here. The unique guy here is Fifth Brother. We've also got 2 copies of Veteran Turret Gunner, 2 copies of Skilled Bombardier, and 2 copies of Hotshot Gunner. The Galactic Empire Conversion Kit also contains 4 different cannon options. We've got the Heavy Laser Cannon, the Ion Cannon, 2 copies of Tractor Beam, and 2 copies of Jamming Beam, and of course you're going to get 2 copies of everything. Turrets are up next, and we're looking at 2 copies of Dorsal Turret and 2 copies of Ion Cannon Turret. Keep in mind the ion rules have changed up a little bit, and they actually do damage now. The torpedo options are up next, and we're going to get 3 copies of each of these cards. Ion Torpedoes, Proton Torpedoes, and Advanced Proton Torpedoes. If you like shooting rockets and missiles, the Empire's got you covered with 3 copies of each of the following cards: concussion missiles, cluster missiles, barrage rockets, homing missiles, ion missiles, and proton rockets. We're taking a look at the bombs next, or nets in this case. We've got 3 copies of Counternet, 3 copies of proton bombs, 3 copies of proximity mines, 3 copies of seismic charges, and 1 copy of bomblet generator, which takes up 2 bomb slots. And last but not least, 2 of the condition cards that are also included in the conversion kit. One for listening device, which comes into play with the informant, and also hunted, which comes into play with Agent Callus. Well, that was everything included in the Star Wars X-Wing Galactic Empire conversion kit. I'm AdamHarry from Bell of Lost Souls. Thanks for watching. Click to subscribe. Check out more videos. And thanks for watching.